So many of us have been through COVID since March 2020. It has affected our lives in ways unknown. I have been, I was pretty much at home for 2.5 years or 2 years, probably. I think it was 2 years before I actually ventured out into, what life was then, before I decided to go back out and being a part of our social lives, to create something new, a different kind of life that we never had before, because we never had COVID before. And in our state of Florida, most people don't wear masks anymore. And so just like everybody else, I'm out there. And just a little bit too careless. I am not so sure where I picked up COVID a week and a half ago. And it affected me in a whole lot of different ways that I didn't even expect. It was a dark place. I never thought I'd catch COVID, but I did. No, I'm a part of that place. I was speaking to a friend of mine this morning. I'm a graduate of COVID, of the COVID experience. And so it's no joke. And I'll tell you how I felt so that you can get an idea of what that dark place looked like to me. So I woke up Monday morning and I felt this little tinge in my throat. And I wasn't so sure what to take of it, because I've felt that before. Some, call a couple of friends of mine and they say, well, go drink some rum, go and drink some rum, mix it up with some honey and some lemon. And I did just that. And it tastes good, the honey tastes good going down. And then somebody said, so I'll get some ramen soup. I had some ramen soup in my cupboard and I went and drank it. It feel good too. But it didn't send COVID away. It didn't send the feeling away. And as the day went by, Monday evening came, my throat started feeling a little bit rougher and rougher. And I didn't anticipate anything further because, I went ahead and got some Tylenol, and I took Tylenol and, anti-something, all right? And Monday night came. And then my body started to ache. And then I got off the bed one time and realized that, I'm not that frisky. I'm not that frisky. And it felt my body kind of hunk over like that. And I kind of walking like a little zombie. And I said, okay, something is wrong here. And I went back to bed. I said, and then I realized that I had to pull my cover over to feel comfortable, but it still wasn't comfortable. And I said, maybe my feet are not under the cover. So I looked down there and my feet were in fact underneath there. And the place started getting cold and my air conditioner was not on. I don't use my air conditioner that much anymore. Tuesday morning came and I tried to get out of bed and I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out of bed. I was weak, couldn't lift my hand. I mean, even my eyelids didn't want to wake up, When I got up, it took me about, a good 2 minutes to walk 5 steps out into the kitchen where I'd get something to drink. I needed water. I needed a lot of water. My body was achy. And then I felt my skin, it was like burning like heck. And I couldn't understand what was going on. I thought about it. I had just come from Canada and I went out Saturday night before to play at a party. And somewhere between there, Canada, the airport, I don't think it was the airport of Canada, because I had my mask on right throughout the flight. You couldn't have taken it off in the flight anyway, right throughout the airport and throughout. So I couldn't believe that it was had anything to do with Canada and the flight and the airport, because I was safe. And then but then I went to a party and I played for 6 hours. And I know that there are some people in my ears saying this and saying that. They want this music and they want that music. I have a pain in my mind still, but they were right. They were pretty close to me. And I never thought about it either. And so Tuesday morning, man, I had never felt anything like that bearing down. That's not true, though. I felt something like that in 2019, bearing down on my lungs, bearing down on my head. My head was splitting. I doubled up on the Tylenol. I mean, Tuesday, I was so miserable. Talk about miserable. I was on the phone with a couple of people and they recognized that something was wrong. But you know, oh boy, I did the test. I did a self-test. A friend of mine brought the self-test over and I did it Tuesday evening about 7 p.m. And I was positive. Tuesday night was rough because I felt my feet started to burn. I was cold, my throat raw. When I cough, I felt like the entire world came down on top of me and my system was just completely broken. And Tuesday night was knowing now that I had COVID. All of the friends who I knew died as a result of COVID. All of the trucks with bodies all over the place, the freezer trucks with dead bodies. All of the people that died, millions of people that died, started to stand up in front of me Tuesday night. And I'm telling you, it was rough as hell. It was dark. Because I started thinking, no, that I tell my friends that I have COVID, them now go come back. That was the other thing. All of them called me. Everybody called me. Everybody texted me and wished me very well. And I loved it. But they now come. And so Tuesday morning, I went to the hospital. I called 911. There was something strange about the 911 people, I think them try to make some money off of me because I don't understand. I told them that I had taken the Tylenol. So the Tylenol would have taken down some of my temperature, right? But I still felt like I had the flu and I couldn't walk. They asked me to sit down in a chair. I couldn't walk. They checked my temperature and had me at normal 98%. I said, something is wrong with that in a Bridget. He says, no, it's normal. So there's no emergency. But I should make a decision whether or not I want them to call the rescue truck. And I said, what the hell did you mean? What do you think I called you for? Because I'm feeling horrible. And then the truck came and it took me a good 10, 15 minutes to walk, a few steps out to the truck. They had to help me because I was hitting the wall. I couldn't stand up firm. I had to walk gingerly. I had to walk like I was on the moon. And then when I got close to the truck, they held my hand and pulled me up and put me down on the thing. And when I got to the hospital, 5 minutes later, my temperature was 103 degrees. Now, how did they get 98 5 minutes earlier? So somebody who's a nurse or a doctor can tell me what the hell happened there, okay? I need to understand why is it that my temperature was 98 degrees and 5 minutes later, 103. Didn't make any sense. I felt the same way that I felt when they diagnosed the normal temperature of 98%, as I did when I walk inside the hospital. When I walk inside, I was bawling. I mean, I cried and you know, thanks to those nurses and the doctors, and thanks to, you know, doctor that helped me to get in there. I'm so happy that I got in. I was there for the entire day almost. I must have been the entire day. And what helped me out, they released me with the throat horrible, the headache same way and everything. They took the blood and did all of the testing and came up. A lot of my numbers were off because I had something going on in my system. And then they diagnosed me with COVID again. But they gave me some kind of antibody, injected something intravenously. They gave me that thing, and then they sent me home. And that night, my word, I have never, not even in 2019, felt like that. I was dying for daylight to come. It was a horrible night. Didn't sleep, couldn't sleep because I couldn't breathe. I didn't have any throat. I feel like I never have no throat. I don't have no foot. It's like everything was off my head. Everything was gone. And see, I'm losing my voice now and my strength in talking to you about this. It's because of really was a horrible experience. Listen, if you know, I wondered, but I don't know that, it's kind of hard to think. I would not be one of those persons who would not have taken the vaccine, because from them say vaccine, and them say, me say, me ready, you know? And so as long as they had a vaccine ready for me, I was ready. So I'm fully vaccinated. But I wonder if, you know, they didn't have a vaccine and I caught this thing here, I'm sure that I would have been one of those persons who would have died, not from COVID, but from just the fact that there is something that I couldn't socialize with my friends and so forth. That would be horrible. So you know, if you have not taken the vaccine, I can't tell you to take it or not, but don't get COVID. It's a very, very tough place to be. I'm telling you. And if I weren't vaccinated, I would be having a lot of challenges right now with that thing. And if they didn't have that antibody thing, and if they didn't have all of these things that would secure my life, boy, even if I didn't die, I wouldn't want to be there, because it's a rough place to be. I'm telling you, a rough place to be. All right, that's all I had for you. And you know, I'm gonna do a series of videos. This is just happened to be the first one that I talk about my experience with COVID. But you'll hear more from me in a few minutes. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now. Oh, by the way, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate that in a big way. All right.